Chapter 4. We've got to stop them. Sam opened his eyes. It was the middle of the night. He lay in his bed watching the light from the lighthouse travel across his ceiling. Light then dark, light then dark. What was that noise? There it was again. Someone was at the front door under his window. Sam sat up in bed and listened. The front door opened and he could hear some people talking quietly. Sam was sure one of them was his uncle, but who were the others? They came into the house and went into the kitchen. Someone told the dogs to be quiet. Then the kitchen door was shut. Sam got out of bed immediately and got dressed, using the light from the lighthouse to help him find his things. He didn't put his trainers on. They could make too much noise, so he carried them. He opened his bedroom door and went as quietly as he could to the top of the stairs. The light from the lighthouse was coming into the hall. Light, dark, light, dark. Sam could hear a man's voice. "He's still at the lighthouse? I saw a light on in there last night. What are we going to do?" They were talking about the man called Robert. "We'll tell the Americans to go to the south of Haydon Island, to the place you found the other day, Tom." That was a voice that Sam knew. It was Andy, and he was speaking to Rachel's dad. "But Michael is still at our house. It's too dangerous," Tom answered. "We have to stop the whole thing." "It's too late to stop now," Andy said. "My American friends are already on their way. They are arriving in their boat later tonight. I phoned them from a cafe in Melton this morning. Michael and his man aren't listening to that phone." So that was where Andy went so fast in his car this morning, thought Sam. "I'm worried Michael will find your American friends before we do, Andy." That sounded like Lisa. "If that happens," said Andy, "then no one will know that the American computer company I worked for is stealing ideas from other computer companies. That's what my friends and I want the world to know, so that we can stop them." Andy, Lisa, and Tom started speaking more quietly. Sam couldn't hear what they were saying. Then he heard the back door close. They were leaving the house. Sam got his phone and sent a message to Rachel. "Meet me at the river in 5 minutes." He put his trainers on and went down to the kitchen saying "shh" to the dogs, but the back door didn't open. He ran to the front door and that didn't open. He couldn't get out of the house. He ran into the kitchen and put a chair near the sink. He climbed up, opened the window, and jumped out into the dark night. Then he ran as fast as he could. Sam knew what he had to do now. He and Rachel had to help Andy. They had to find a way to stop Michael finding the Americans. It was completely quiet at the river. Sam waited for the light from the lighthouse to see if anyone was there. The light from the lighthouse came, traveling through the sky. He watched where it went, but he saw nothing. Then, in the dark, before the light returned, he ran into the building where his boat was. Sam pushed the doors open and waited for the light to go past again. Then he pulled his boat down to the river. Where was Rachel? Oh no! The light was coming back again. Quick! He pushed and pulled, got the boat onto the water and fell down flat. At that moment, the light traveled over his head. While Sam lay there waiting for Rachel, a bright moon came up from behind Haydon Island. The moonlight looked like a silver path on the water, and the stars were shining. There were more stars than Sam thought possible. The boat sat on the river, and the birds called quietly in the night. Behind it all was the yellow light of the lighthouse, traveling in a great circle across the sky. It was such a perfect night. It was difficult to think that anything bad could happen on Haydon Island. Where was Rachel? He waited and waited, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then, there she was, running over to him in the dark. "Where were you?" Sam was angry. "I couldn't find Mom and Dad. They weren't in the house," she said, looking worried. "Michael was downstairs. I couldn't do anything. Then he left and I followed him to his boat. He called Robert at the lighthouse." "What did he say?" asked Sam. "He's going to the lighthouse. Then he and Robert will both go to the south of Haydon Island," answered Rachel. "Oh no," said Sam. "We've got to stop them going there because that's where the Americans are arriving." "Oh, I see," said Rachel. "No, I'm not sure you do see," said Sam. We've got to stop them going south because that's where your mom and dad have gone with Andy." At that moment, they heard a boat engine start up. In the moonlight, they could see it was Michael going slowly down the river. Rachel went white. Sam thought for a moment. "Did you bring your phone with you?" he said. "Yes, but," answered Rachel. "Then I think I have an idea," said Sam with a smile. "Come on." They got into the boat as quietly as they could and pushed off into the river, but nothing happened. The boat didn't move. "We'll never catch Michael," said Sam. "Shh," said Rachel. "Pull this rope." He did what she said, and the wind filled the sails. The boat turned and they were sailing south after Michael, with the lighthouse drawing circles in the sky above their heads. Sam smiled. "You know how to sail this boat," he said to Rachel. "Shh," she said again, but he knew she was smiling. Rachel sailed the boat down the river until the river ended. Then she turned them towards the moon, and Sam felt sick for the second time that day. They were going round the south of Haydon Island and out into the sea. "Don't worry, city boy," said Rachel. "The lighthouse will show us the way." Chapter 5. A brilliant plan. Sam couldn't see Michael's boat now. He couldn't even hear the engine. Their little boat was moving up and down like a toy on the sea. It was dangerous, but Rachel sat quietly pulling ropes, turning the boat into the wind. They had a plan now, and Sam was sure it was a good one. They were sailing towards the lighthouse. The light came round, and Sam saw that Michael S.'s boat was almost at the lighthouse. Then the light went and his boat was gone, and now the light was coming towards their little boat. "Please don't let Michael see us," said Sam when the light hit them. But Michael went straight on. Sam watched the light move behind them. What was that? Was that another boat out at sea? "Rachel," he said, "I think the Americans are here." "Then let's give Michael and his friend something to think about," said Rachel. Michael's boat was on the beach now in front of the lighthouse, but it was empty. "Good, he's gone inside the lighthouse," thought Sam. Then he called Rachel's phone. "Lisa," he said, trying to speak like his uncle. "This is Andy. I'm using Sam's phone. I think Michael is listening to my phone." "Yes, Andy. This is Lisa," Rachel said. "I've got Rachel's phone. What's the problem?" "We changed the plan," said Sam. "The Americans are arriving to the north of the lighthouse. They will be here in 5 minutes." "Okay, Andy. Tom and I will meet you there. Goodbye." They switched their phones off. "Let's hope this works," said Rachel. The wind was stronger now. They were flying through the water. They heard the engine on Michael's boat. Sam could see 2 men on it. He switched his phone on again. "Michael will see the light from my phone and think we're the Americans," he said. "Great idea," said Rachel. Michael and Robert were going fast now, and they were getting closer. Rachel sailed north, past the lighthouse. Then she turned and sailed towards Haydon Island. Here, near the island, the sea was flat. Their little boat stopped moving up and down. Sam looked round. Michael was almost there. Then Michael's boat stopped moving and there was an angry shout. The water wasn't deep enough for Michael's boat, but Sam's boat was much smaller and it didn't stop. Rachel turned the boat round. Michael and Robert watched them sail past, but they couldn't do anything. Their boat didn't move. "I think that will give the Americans enough time," said Rachel with a big smile. "Now, Sam, do you want to take us home?" It was almost light when they got back. When Sam arrived home, Andy was sitting at the kitchen table. He had his head in his hands. "Oh, thank God you're safe," he said when he saw Sam. He ran over and held Sam in his big arms. "But where were you?" Andy asked. "Rachel was teaching me how to sail at night," said Sam. Well, it was almost true. When Sam woke, it was light and he was very hungry. He ran downstairs to the kitchen. Andy was cooking lunch. It was chicken pie again. The TV was on, and Rachel was waiting for him. "Michael left early this morning," Rachel said. Mom said he was angry. She said he didn't even eat breakfast. Shh, said Andy, turning the TV up. Important papers arrived in this country last night, the woman on the TV was saying. They show that the big American computer company, USA Computers, was stealing ideas from other companies around the world. But, said Sam, isn't that where you worked, Andy? Yes, he said. Now, shh. During the night, the police took 4 men and women from houses in London, said the woman on TV. And American police took another 3 men in New York. All 7 worked for USA Computers. No one knows how the information arrived in the UK, but it is possible it came with smugglers from America. So, said Rachel, smiling, perhaps not all smugglers are bad, are they, Andy? Andy looked at her, surprised. Now you two, what really happened last night? Rachel and Sam looked at each other. Then they laughed and told him everything. Wow, said Andy when they finished. That was brilliant. It was Sam's idea, explained Rachel. Do you remember, Andy, when I had to save him and his boat? He said if we could get Michael to follow us where the water isn't deep, then we could stop him and his boat. So, are we good smugglers, Andy? Asked Sam. You're the best, he said with a big smile, carrying the chicken pie to the table. At that moment, Rosie and Spike started running around and making a lot of noise. Then someone walked in through the back door. Dad, said Sam, running over to his father. What's all this about smugglers? Asked his dad. It's a long story, said Sam, looking at the pie on the table. Can't we eat first? Andy's chicken pie is the best. Well, save some for me, said his dad, laughing. I'd like some of this famous pie.